Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, the AP Top 25 poll is out for Week 13 in college football, and let's go over what the AP voters ranked the top 25 teams and see what I think about them. Georgia is the number one team still. They were a little shaky against Kentucky this week, but Georgia definitely still, their overall body work has them being the number one team in the country. Ohio State is number two after winning at Maryland, and Michigan is number three after beating Illinois. Both teams deserve to be in the same spots. They got the job done against the teams that they played. It might not have been pretty, especially in Michigan's case, but they don't deserve to move down. TCU's at number four after winning at Baylor. Again, they are undefeated, so they definitely deserve to be at the number four spot. USC, since they won at UCLA, they're moving up to number five, and they definitely deserve to be at number five. LSU, they played UAB, so they couldn't get a quality win there. But USC definitely deserves to be the number five team after their performance against UCLA. Clemson's at number seven, and they beat Miami. That was a decent win there. Clemson definitely moves up because Tennessee lost. Alabama's at number 8, and they played Austin Peay, so they're not going to move up for winning that game. Tennessee moved down to number 9 after losing to South Carolina. A tough loss for Tennessee that probably definitely ends their playoff hopes. It's very unfortunate for them. Oregon moved up to number 10 after beating Utah, so really good win for Oregon. Even though their playoff chances are done, Oregon still, that was a really good win to move back into the top 10. Penn State's at number 11 after they beat Rutgers, and that was a really good win for Penn State, and they definitely deserve to be ranked really high because outside of the Michigan and Ohio State losses, they played really well this season. Washington moved up to number 12 after beating Colorado, and they definitely move up because teams ahead of them lost, but Washington is still a really good team, and they definitely deserve to be in the top 15. Notre Dame moved up to number 13 after beating Boston College by a lot. Really good result for Notre Dame. Even though they have 3 losses, they have been very impressive lately, and that's why they're moving up the rankings. Utah moved down to number 14 after losing at Oregon. They definitely tried hard in the Oregon game. They don't deserve to move down far, which is why they only moved down 4 spots. But Utah has to move down somewhere because they lost, and they do have 3 losses. Kansas State moved up to number 15 after winning at West Virginia. Really good win for Kansas State. They have a pretty decent resume, and that's why they're ranked 15th. Florida State moved up to number 16 after beating Louisiana Lafayette, and they moved up because teams ahead of them lost as well. And Florida State's been playing really good football lately, and that's why they're moving up. UCLA's at number 17 after losing to USC, and they only moved down 1 spot because they played really well against USC, but they have 3 losses now, and that's why they're ranked 17th. North Carolina dropped to number 18 after losing inexplicably to Georgia Tech. North Carolina maybe would have had a chance to be close to the top 10, but since they lost, their chances of being in a New Year's Day bowl game are probably over unless they can win out and beat Clemson. Tulane, they beat SMU by a lot. Tulane has a really good resume, even though they have 2 losses and they're an American Conference team. But that's why they're still in the top 25 at 19 because they've beat some really good teams. And that Kansas State win's really helping them out in the rankings. Ole Miss is at number 20 after losing at Arkansas. That was a very tough loss for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is now has 3 losses, and their overall body of work is not as good as the other SEC teams. So that's why with them having 3 losses, they're down at number 20. Cincinnati's at number 21 after winning at Temple. Good win for Cincinnati. Cincinnati moves up because teams ahead of them lost. Oregon State moved up to number 22 after winning at Arizona State. A very impressive win for Oregon State, and the Beavers definitely have a top 25 worthy resume. Coastal Carolina's at number 23, and they stay in the same spot after having their game against Virginia canceled due to the tragedy that happened for the 3 Virginia players. Again, rest in peace to them. But Coastal Carolina stays in the same spot. Texas is back in the top 25 after flooring Kansas. Texas played really well against Kansas, and that's why they're now back at the top 25. And also, Texas is a brand school, and that's why they're ranked. UCF is at number 25 after losing to Navy, and UCF still has good wins on their resume, and that's why with 3 losses, they are in the top 25 still. And UCF is a pretty good brand for a group of 5 team, but UCF is barely holding on to the top 25 because that was a bad loss to Navy. Only 1 team dropped from the rankings. Oklahoma State moved down from number 24 to out after losing to Oklahoma, and they definitely deserve to drop out for that performance. But other teams receiving votes, UTSA almost cracked the top 25, Texas San Antonio, South Carolina for beating Tennessee, really good win for South Carolina, Troy, Boise State for winning at Wyoming, Illinois, Iowa, Louisville, Mississippi State, South Alabama, Purdue, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and Fresno State are all teams in the other receiving votes. They could definitely move into the top 25 maybe if they keep winning. So all these teams still have a lot to play for, getting these bowl games, and we'll see what goes from there. So that's the Week 13 AP Top 25 poll in college football. It's getting in crunch time right at the end of the season for all these teams that are wanting to make major bowl games or the college football playoff. Comment down below what you think about the AP Top 25 voters rankings of these teams and how they did on their rankings and whether they were justifiable or not. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below, and I will see you next time.